All right, get ready to say ciao to Italy. Because today we're mapping out the perfect 3-week adventure.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's a good chunk of time
It is
to really dive in and get a feel for Italy.
And I think we should go beyond just Rome, Florence, Venice.
Absolutely.
Those iconic spots, which we will hit.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We're going to hit those.
We'll uncover some of those hidden gems, too.
Yeah, and really get a sense for all the different flavors that Italy has to offer.
That's what I'm excited for.
So where should we start? Where do we begin?
Well, how about we shake things up a bit and skip the typical Rome arrival?
Okay.
Let's head south to the
Let's-
captivating region of Puglia.
Puglia.
It's a bit off the beaten path,
Okay.
which is what makes it so special.
So tell me more about Puglia.
Well, you're gonna find authentic Italian charm in spades there.
Okay.
Layers of history and the most stunning coastlines you'll ever see.
Beautiful.
It's the perfect place to kind of ease into your Italian love affair. You know, before we get to the hustle and bustle of some of those big cities.
Yeah, I love that idea.
So are you ready for some Puglian adventure?
Let's do it.
All right, first stop.
Okay.
Alberobello.
Alberobello. And remind me what's special about Alberobello.
This town is famous for its trolley houses.
Trolley houses, and I've seen the photos. Like,
Yeah.
what are they exactly?
So picture these adorable whitewashed dwellings with cone-shaped roofs.
Like little gnome houses almost.
They kind of look like something out of a fairy tale.
They really do.
And they're so unique that they've earned a UNESCO World Heritage Site designation.
Wow.
Yeah,
So Alberobello, it's on the list.
absolutely.
All right, what else is on our list?
All right, next up.
Okay.
Picture yourself perched on a dramatic cliffside
Okay.
with the sparkling Adriatic Sea stretching out before you.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
That's Polignano a Mare.
Polignano a Mare.
It's a town known for stunning beaches, crystal clear waters. It's just picture perfect.
It's making me want to go right now.
I know, right?
Okay, so Polignano a Mare. We're going there.
Definitely.
All right.
All right, now this one you might have heard of. It's called the White City.
The White City.
Ostuni.
Okay.
Have you seen pictures of this place?
I've seen a few, yeah.
It is a sight to behold.
Okay.
The entire old town
Wow.
is a labyrinth of whitewashed buildings that practically glow against the blue sky.
It's like a Greek island almost.
It has that similar vibe. You'll
Right.
feel like you've stepped into a dream.
Okay, Ostuni, the White City, is on the list.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do we got? We've got the trolley houses, we've got the dramatic coastline, we've got the White City.
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, now prepare for some serious architectural beauty.
Okay,
We're going to Lecce.
Lecce.
This city is like a Baroque masterpiece.
Ah.
The architecture is incredibly ornate, buildings adorned with intricate carvings, details
Okay.
that will just have you in awe.
Wow.
It's just a testament to Italy's artistic heritage.
Lecce, all right.
It's a must-see.
Now, we're checking off a lot of boxes here in Puglia.
Yeah, we are.
And there's so much history in Italy. Tell me more about Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Now, this is like stepping back in time.
Okay.
This city has ancient Greek and Roman roots.
Wow.
You can really feel those echoes of history as you explore its streets and the archaeological sites there.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you're walking in the footsteps of emperors and philosophers.
Amazing.
Pretty incredible, right?
Okay, so we've got the history, we've got the architecture, we've got the coast,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm already getting hungry just thinking about Italy.
Right.
What are we eating?
Oh, get ready for a culinary adventure.
Okay.
Because Puglia is truly a foodie's paradise.
Okay.
I mean, just imagine fresh seafood pulled straight from the Adriatic,
Yeah.
drizzled with the region's world-renowned olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we can't forget about the wines.
Go on.
Local wines like Primitivo and Negro Amaro. They're bold, flavorful, and they just perfectly complement those meals.
Now you're just making me hungry.
I know, it's hard to resist.
So give me some specifics. What are we eating?
All right, you've got to try orecchiette.
Orecchia.
It's a pasta, it's ear-shaped, it's a staple in Puglia,
You.
and it's often served with a simple tomato sauce or fresh vegetables. So simple, but so satisfying.
Okay, so orecchia is going on the list.
Absolutely.
What else?
Okay, and for a quick bite, a tasty treat, you can't miss panzerotti.
Panzerotti.
It's like a little fried dough pocket filled with savory goodness.
Ooh.
Think of it as the Italian version of a calzone.
Okay,
They're so good.
we're adding that one.
Yeah.
But okay, so we've got the food, right?
Mm.
We've got the must-try dishes.
Yeah.
What about some unique experiences that'll really immerse us in the local culture?
All right, listen to this.
Okay.
Don't just stick to those well-trodden tourist paths.
Okay.
Puglia is best explored by venturing off the beaten track a bit.
Okay.
Okay, so explore hidden coves. Oh, I like that.
Little beaches.
Yeah.
Where you can enjoy that tranquility of the Adriatic Sea without the crowds.
I love that.
Right.
Away from all the hustle and bustle.
Exactly.
What else?
Head to one of the local masserias.
A masseria, what is that?
It's a charming farmhouse
Okay.
that offers these delicious home-cooked meals using fresh, local ingredients.
Okay.
It's a chance to really connect with the land, the people, and just that true heart of Puglia.
Okay, a masseria experience.
Yeah.
I like it.
And while we're talking about connecting with the land,
Yeah?
we can't forget about those olive groves and vineyards.
Oh, yeah.
Picture yourself strolling through these rows of ancient olive trees,
Beautiful.
the air filled with the scent of olives,
Yeah.
the sound of birdsong.
It's just so peaceful.
It is. Or wandering through vineyards bathed in that golden sunlight.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll even learn about the winemaking process from the locals.
Ooh.
Yeah, those passionate locals that just pour their hearts into every bottle. Okay, so we're definitely putting Puglia on the map. We're going there.
It's a must.
But 3 weeks in Italy.
Right.
We've got to keep moving.
Yes, we do.
So where to next?
Okay, get ready for a dramatic shift in scenery.
Okay.
Because week 2 is all about contrasts.
Okay.
The timeless magic of Venice and the breathtaking grandeur of the Dolomites.
Ooh, I like that.
2 very different experiences, but both so incredible.
Okay, let's start with Venice.
All right, Venice, I mean, the name alone conjures up those images.
It does.
Romantic canals, gondolas, stunning architecture.
I can practically hear the accordions playing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a place where art, history, and a unique way of life just intertwine.
Okay, so let's talk about those must-see sites in Venice.
All right, first and foremost, you have to experience St. Mark's Basilica.
St. Mark's Basilica, okay.
Its Byzantine architecture and shimmering mosaics are just breathtaking.
I've seen photos,
Yeah.
but I bet it's even more incredible in person.
Oh, absolutely. You can't capture that feeling in a photo.
And what about the Doge's Palace?
Ah, the Doge's Palace. It's a glimpse into Venice's powerful past.
Okay.
It was the residence of the Venetian rulers,
Okay.
and it's filled with these opulent rooms.
Okay.
Intricate details that will transport you back to a time of grandeur and intrigue.
Intrigue. Okay, now you've got me interested.
Right.
So the Doge's Palace.
Yes.
And of course the Grand Canal.
You can't go to Venice without experiencing the Grand Canal.
Yeah.
And what better way than a gondola ride?
The gondola ride.
It's a quintessential Venetian experience.
Yeah.
Imagine gliding beneath those ornate bridges, past the stunning palazzi, soaking up the unique atmosphere.
It sounds magical.
It truly is.
It does.
It's a memory you'll cherish forever.
Okay, so St. Mark's Basilica, the Doge's Palace, a gondola ride down the Grand Canal.
Mm-hmm.
That's already a pretty packed itinerary.
It is, but we can't forget about those quieter corners of Venice, too.
Oh, tell me more.
Because Venice can get a bit crowded, especially during peak season. So venture beyond those main tourist areas and explore those quieter neighborhoods like Cannaregio.
Cannaregio.
It's the historic Jewish quarter.
Okay.
You'll discover a different pace of life there. Charming squares, local trattorias, and it's just a glimpse into that city's diverse past.
Okay, so Cannaregio, going on the list.
Absolutely.
All right, and after all that exploring,
Yeah.
we're going to need to refuel.
Of course we are.
What are we eating in Venice?
Well, Venice is a seafood lover's dream.
Okay.
So be sure to indulge in fresh fish, shrimp, squid, all that good stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
And for a truly Venetian experience,
yeah.
you've got to try risotto alla veneziana.
Risotto alla veneziana. Okay.
It's creamy, it's flavorful.
What's in it?
It's flavored with saffron.
Saffron, okay.
Absolutely delicious.
All right, risotto alla veneziana. We're going to try it.
You won't regret it.
But now I'm ready to trade those canals for some mountain views.
Let's do it. We're
Yeah.
heading to the Dolomites.
Dolomites, okay.
Imagine soaring limestone peaks piercing the sky, emerald green valleys dotted with charming villages,
Beautiful.
and crystal clear lakes reflecting the surrounding beauty.
It sounds incredible.
The Dolomites are a hiker's paradise, a photographer's dream, and a nature lover's sanctuary.
Okay, so how do we even begin to plan an adventure in this vast mountain range?
All right, a great starting point is Bolzano.
Bolzano.
the capital of South Tyrol.
Okay.
It's got a charming medieval center, some fantastic museums.
What kind of museums?
Well, speaking of history, you can't miss the South Tyrolean Archaeological Museum,
Okay.
which is home to the famous Ötzi the Iceman.
Oh, Ötzi the Iceman.
Yeah, you know him.
That's the really well-preserved mummy.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Discovered in the Alps.
That's incredible.
So that's a must-see.
Okay, so Bolzano and Ötzi the Iceman.
Definitely.
Now, where to after Bolzano?
All right, from Bolzano, we're heading to Cortina d'Ampezzo.
Cortina d'Ampezzo.
It's a chic town nestled in the heart of the Dolomites,
Okay.
famous for hosting the Winter Olympics.
Oh, wow.
And it's breathtaking scenery.
Beautiful.
It'll blow you away, trust me.
Okay, now, when I think of the Dolomites, I think of those iconic peaks.
Oh, you must be thinking of the Trecime di Lavaredo?
Trecime di Lavaredo.
Yeah.
The 3 peaks.
Yes, there are 3 towering peaks. They're a symbol of the Dolomites.
Okay.
You can hike around them, take a scenic drive, or just admire their grandeur from afar.
They're going on the list.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got Bolzano, we've got Cortina.
Mm-hmm.
What other valleys and villages should we explore in this mountain paradise?
All right, from Cortina, we'll journey through some of the most picturesque valleys in the Dolomites.
Okay.
We'll explore Alta Badia
Alta Badia.
with charming villages like Corvara and La Villa.
A villa.
Picture yourself strolling through these fairy tale-like towns, surrounded by towering peaks, lush meadows.
It sounds like something out of a movie.
It really is postcard perfect.
And what about Val Gardena?
Ah, Val Gardena is another must-see.
Okay.
It's home to those charming villages like Ortice, Selva di Val Gardena, Santa Cristina.
Wow, a lot of places to explore.
And you can take cable cars up to the Sacita and Alpe di Siusi for mind-blowing panoramic views.
Cable cars.
Yeah,
Have
the
fun.
surrounding mountains.
Okay, so we've got Bolzano, Cortina, Alta Badia, and Val Gardena.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg
Right.
when it comes to exploring the Dolomites.
Absolutely. But when in the Dolomites, you've got to embrace the outdoors.
Okay.
Lace up your hiking boots, rent a bike, or even try Via Ferrata.
Via Ferrata, what's that?
They're protected climbing routes
Oh.
that allow you to experience the mountains in a whole new way.
Oh,
It's safe, but thrilling.
I like that.
It's an adventure.
Yeah.
But of course, always, safety first.
Yes.
Make sure you choose trails suitable for your fitness level.
Good advice.
Yeah, there are trails for every ability, from leisurely walks to challenging climbs.
Okay.
So, do your research.
Mhm.
Check those trail maps.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask the locals for recommendations.
Always good to get local advice.
Yeah.
And while we're exploring those villages, keep an eye out for local festivals and events.
Oh, yeah.
The Dolomites are steeped in history and tradition.
Okay.
And of course, you have to sample the regional cuisine.
Yes.
Think hearty dishes like polenta.
I love polenta.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Game meat, apple strudel.
Delicious. Yeah.
Perfect for warming up after a day exploring the mountains.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our Dolomites itinerary kind of mapped out.
Mm-hmm.
But as much as I'd love to spend the entire 3 weeks just in the mountains, I
Right.
know we have to move on.
We do. We have to save some time for the coast.
Yeah.
The coast.
Where to next?
Hold on to your hats.
Okay.
Because week 3 is all about coastal wonders.
All right.
We're going to explore the rugged beauty of Cinque Terre
Yes.
and then soak up the glamour of the Amalfi Coast.
Ooh, I like that.
Get ready for breathtaking views, charming villages, the best of Italian coastal life.
Okay, so 2 iconic coastlines in 1 week.
Yes.
That's ambitious. It is, but we can do it.
All right, let's start with Cinque Terre.
All right, Cinque Terre, which means 5 lands,
Okay.
is a string of 5 picturesque villages: Monterosso al Mare, Vernazza, Cornelia, Manarola, and Rio Maggiore.
Wow, I can barely say them.
I know, they're a mouthful.
But they're beautiful,
They are.
and they're all perched on those cliffs overlooking the Ligurian Sea.
Right, and connected by those hiking trails, train lines, and those breathtaking views.
It sounds like a dream for hikers and photographers.
It is.
So tell me about that famous Cinque Terre trail.
You're talking about the Sentiero Azzurro, or the Blue Trail.
Okay.
It's the most popular way to experience Cinque Terre.
Rick.
It's a 12-kilometer trail that winds along the coastline, connecting all 5 villages.
Wow.
Yeah, so you'll get those stunning views, charming villages. It's a good workout,
Okay.
And you can take a refreshing dip in the sea along the way.
I like that.
So it's got it all.
Okay, Sentiero Azzurro, Blue Trail.
Yeah.
It's happening. All right, besides hiking, what else should we do in Cinque Terre?
All right, each of the 5 villages has its own unique personality.
Okay.
So be sure to explore each one.
Okay.
Monterosso al Mare, it has a beautiful beach.
Okay.
Vernazza, known for its picturesque harbor.
Hmm.
Cornelia, it's perched high on a cliff top, so you get those panoramic views.
Okay.
Manarola, those colorful houses clinging to the rocks. So charming.
They're so beautiful.
And Rio Maggiore, it has this romantic ambiance.
Okay.
Perfect for a sunset stroll.
Ah.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's amazing how much diversity you get in such a small area.
Yeah.
So, make sure you take the time to explore each village.
Okay, and speaking of different perspectives, what about exploring by boat?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
A boat tour is fantastic.
Okay.
You can see Cinque Terre from the water.
Yeah.
Get a whole new appreciation for those dramatic cliffs, the colorful villages, the sparkling blue sea.
And maybe even see some dolphins?
Maybe some dolphins.
Hey, a boat tour. It's on the list.
Right.
All right, so we've explored those charming villages, hiked the trails, taken a boat tour.
Mm-hmm.
What about the food in Cinque Terre?
Oh, the food.
What are some must-try dishes?
Oh, you can't go wrong with fresh seafood in Cinque Terre.
Okay.
So try the seafood risotto, fresh anchovies, or the trophy pasta with pesto sauce.
Okay, so seafood's definitely on the menu in Cinque Terre.
Absolutely.
And what about drinks?
Well, you have to indulge in some limoncello.
Limoncello.
The region's famous lemon liquor.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so good.
Okay.
Perfect way to end a meal.
All right, limoncello, we're trying it.
Yes.
But now it's time for the grand finale
It is.
of our Italian adventure.
The Amalfi Coast.
The Amalfi Coast.
Get ready. Because this coastline is known for its dramatic landscapes, glamorous towns, and luxurious experiences.
Okay, you had me at glamorous.
Right.
Yeah,
It's the epitome of la dolce vita, the sweet life.
I love that.
So, what can we expect?
Yeah, tell me more.
All right, Positano is an absolute must-see.
Positano, I've seen the photos.
Okay, imagine those pastel-colored houses cascading down a hillside towards that sparkling Mediterranean Sea.
It's so beautiful.
It's a sight that will stay with you forever.
Okay.
Then there's Amalfi,
Amalfi.
the town that gives the coast its name.
Okay.
It has a historic center, an impressive Duomo, and a vibrant atmosphere.
Okay.
And if you're looking for breathtaking views and a touch of tranquility,
Yeah.
head to Ravello.
Ravello.
It's a hilltop town,
Okay.
famous for its beautiful gardens.
Okay, so we got Positano, Amalfi, and Ravello,
Mm-hmm.
all going on the list.
Definitely.
But there's got to be more to the Amalfi Coast than just those iconic towns.
Right. You can't just stay on land.
Okay.
You have to get out on the water,
Okay.
rent a boat, take a ferry, explore those hidden coves, secluded beaches, swimming, sunbathing, soaking up those Mediterranean vibes.
Okay, so a boat trip's a must.
Absolutely.
And what about Capri?
Ah, Capri, you can take a day trip there.
Okay.
It's a glamorous island just off the coast.
Okay, Capri, that's going on the list.
Definitely.
And last but not least, the food.
Oh, of course, the food.
What are we eating on the Amalfi Coast?
The Amalfi Coast is another foodie paradise.
Okay.
Indulge in fresh seafood, sample the region's famous mozzarella,
Mozzarella. Okay.
and sip on locally produced limoncello.
Okay, so more limoncello on the Amalfi Coast.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
All right, and for a truly immersive experience, how about a cooking class?
Oh, a cooking class is a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
You can learn the secrets of Amalfi Coast cuisine.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always up for learning something new.
And then you can recreate those dishes back home.
Exactly.
It's like taking a piece of Italy with you.
Okay, so a cooking class, it's going on the list.
Right.
But with so much to see and do on the Amalfi Coast,
Yeah,
we're going to have to be strategic with our time.
right.
Any tips for making the most of our Amalfi Coast adventure?
All right, here's my tip. Remember, the Amalfi Coast is a place to embrace the slower pace of Italian life.
Oh,
So take your time, savor the views, and just enjoy the simple pleasures.
that's what it's all about.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get lost in those winding streets. Discover those hidden corners.
Yeah,
That's where the real magic lies.
I love that.
Yeah.
And speaking of hidden corners,
Yeah.
are there any other hidden corners that we need to add to our itinerary?
Okay, well, if you're up for a breathtaking hike,
Okay.
check out the Path of the Gods.
Path of the Gods.
It's this trail that winds along the cliffs
Okay.
and offers just incredible views of the coastline.
Okay, it's going on the list.
And for a touch of history,
Okay.
visit the Paper Museum in Amalfi.
The Paper Museum. What's there?
It showcases the region's fascinating paper-making tradition.
Okay, I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, so the Path of the Gods and the Paper Museum, they're happening.
Definitely.
So we've covered a lot of ground.
We-
In this whirlwind tour of our 3-week Italian adventure.
We've gone from north to south.
We have. And, I have to ask,
Yeah.
is there anything else, any other thought-provoking insights about Italy that we haven't covered yet?
I think one thing to keep in mind is that Italy is a place where the past is constantly present.
Okay.
From those ancient ruins to Renaissance masterpieces, history is woven into the fabric of everyday life.
I like that.
So, as you explore Italy, take the time to reflect on those layers of history that have shaped this country.
Yeah.
And let that sense of connection to the past really enrich your experience.
I love that. It's not just about seeing the sights.
Right.
It's about feeling the weight of history, the energy of the culture,
Exactly.
the heart of the Italian people.
Exactly.
And now, I think it's time to move on to the nitty-gritty of planning this trip.
You ready to dive into that sample itinerary?
Let's do it.
Day by day.
Let's give our listeners a roadmap to La Dolce Vita.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, so we're ready for week 1 in Puglia. On day 1, you'll arrive in Bari, the region's capital. And after you've settled in, take a leisurely stroll through the old town. It's called Bari Vecchia.
Bari Vecchia.
It's a maze of narrow, winding streets, charming piazzas, so just get lost and soak up the atmosphere.
I like that. Get lost in the moment.
Exactly. You'll stumble upon hidden courtyards, local artisans selling their crafts, and those delicious smells wafting from the trattorias.
I can just imagine. And speaking of delicious smells, what about the street food?
Oh, the street food in Bari, yes. You cannot miss the legendary focaccia berets. It's topped with juicy tomatoes and salty olives, the perfect fuel.
Okay, so day 1, Bari and focaccia. I'm liking it. What's next?
On day 2, we're off to Alberobello, the town of those truly houses. Spend the day wandering through this UNESCO World Heritage Site.
I'm ready for those photo ops.
Yes, so many picture-perfect moments. And don't forget to pop into some of the truly houses that have been converted into shops and restaurants.
Okay, a little souvenir shopping. I can get on board with that. So you've explored Bari, Alberobello. What's next?
Day 3, it's all about that dramatic coastline.
Oh, yes.
We're heading to Polignano a Mare, the cliffside town.
Okay.
Spend the morning relaxing on the beach, maybe take a dip in the Adriatic.
Sounds nice and relaxing.
Right. And for lunch,
What are we having?
treat yourself to fresh seafood at a restaurant overlooking the sea, and maybe a glass of that local Primitivo wine.
I like where this is going.
It's gonna be good.
All right, so day 3, beaches, seafood, and Primitivo wine.
Perfect.
All right, so what about day 4?
On day 4, we're heading inland to Ostuni, the White City. Spend the day exploring those streets.
I'm ready. I love those labyrinthine streets that you find in Europe. It's so
Yeah.
fun to just get lost.
I know, it's the best way to discover those hidden gems, and be sure to visit the Ostuni Cathedral, a beautiful example of Romanesque architecture.
Okay, so day 4, Ostuni. We've got the coast. We've got the countryside. What's next?
Day 5 brings us to the Baroque beauty of Lecce.
Oh, yes, Lecce.
Spend the morning in the historic center, just admire the architecture, maybe in the afternoon, take a cooking class.
Okay.
Learn how to make some traditional Puglian dishes.
I'm in. I'd love to bring home some of those culinary skills.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up our week in Puglia. I'm already feeling relaxed, inspired, and I haven't even been there yet.
I know, and that's just week 1. Buckle up for week 2. Venice and the Dolomites.
Venice.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I know. So day 6, you'll arrive in Venice, check into your hotel, and embrace that floating city. Take a Vaporetto ride down the Grand Canal.
Vaporetto. Okay, explain.
It's like a water bus.
Water bus, I like that.
It's a great way to get your bearings, see some of the iconic landmarks, and then in the evening,
Yes.
what's more romantic than a gondola ride?
I know, I can't wait.
Imagine gliding through the canals as the sun sets, maybe a little serenade from your gondolier.
Perfect. Day 6, Venice. We arrive, we take the Vaporetto, and then we have that gondola ride in the evening. I can't wait. What about day 7?
All right, day 7, it's all about art and history. We're going to start with St. Mark's Basilica, the Byzantine architecture, and mosaics. Then Doge's Palace.
Doge's Palace, yes. So much history there. And all that exploring is going to work up an appetite. What are we having?
I think it's time to try some cicchetti.
Cicchetti, remind me what that is.
It's like Venetian tapas, small snacks that you can share.
Okay, so lots of little bites.
Exactly, lots of variety. You'll find seafood, cheeses, tiny sandwiches, all sorts of delicious things.
I'm in. Okay, so day 7, art, history, cicchetti.
Perfect.
What about day 8?
Day 8, we're going off the beaten path again to discover some of those hidden gems.
Okay.
We'll wander through Cannaregio, find those charming squares, local artisan workshops, away from those crowds.
I like that.
And while we're there, we'll visit the Jewish ghetto. It's one of the oldest in the world.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, so day 8, exploring Cannaregio and the Jewish ghetto. And then what about day 9?
Day 9, it's time for a boat trip to Murano and Burano.
Oh, I love Murano. That's the island with the glass blowing. Right?
Exactly. You can watch those skilled artisans creating those masterpieces. And then there's Burano, known for its brightly colored houses and lace-making tradition.
So I've got glass blowing, lace-making, colorful houses. This is going to be a good day.
It's going to be an explosion of color.
I like it. What about day 10?
All right, day 10 marks the end of our Venetian adventure, and we head to the Dolomites.
The Dolomites.
We'll arrive in Bolzano, check into our hotel, and take a stroll through that medieval center.
I'm ready for some mountain air. And what about the food in the Dolomites? I bet it's pretty different from Venice.
Oh, yeah. Get ready for some hearty mountain fare.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
You'll find dishes like polenta, cannerli, those bread dumplings, and of course, the local wines.
Okay, polenta, cannerli, local wines. It's going on the list. What's day 11 look like?
Day 11, embrace the great outdoors.
Yeah.
We're going to Cortina d'Ampezzo
Oh, yes.
for a day of hiking with breathtaking views.
All right, hiking in the Dolomites. So what trails are we tackling?
Well, we can take a cable car up to the top and hike along a scenic trail, the perfect way to reconnect with nature.
It sounds beautiful. Okay, so day 11, hiking with a view. Now, what about day 12?
Day 12, we're going to see the Tracima de Lavaredo, those 3 peaks.
Oh, those iconic peaks.
We'll take a scenic drive, stop for some pictures, and maybe even a short hike.
I like it. Okay, scenic drive, maybe a hike. What about day 13?
Day 13, we're going to immerse ourselves in the culture. We're going to visit a traditional Latin village.
A Latin village. Okay, tell me more.
The Latin people are an ethnic group native to the Dolomites. They have a unique culture and traditions. We'll learn about their history and way of life, and in the evening, enjoy a traditional dinner.
Okay, so day 13, a Latin village, and a traditional dinner. I'm always up for experiencing something new. Are there any other, really unique activities we can do in the Dolomites? You mentioned Via Ferrata earlier.
Oh yeah, Via Ferrata, definitely. If you're up for an adventure, it's a safe but thrilling way to experience the mountains.
Okay, it's going on my list. Via Ferrata in the Dolomites. All right, so how do we wrap up week 2? What's day 14?
Day 14, we say farewell to the Dolomites and head back to Bolzano for our final night there.
Okay.
We can enjoy a leisurely dinner, reflect on our adventures.
Sounds perfect. So week 2 was Venice and the Dolomites. 2 amazing regions. Now we're on to week 3, our final week in Italy. Back to the coast. I'm excited.
Me too. Week 3, it's all about those iconic coastlines. First, Cinque Terre.
Yes, Cinque Terre. I've been waiting for this.
So on day 15, we'll arrive in La Spezia, check into our hotel, and then experience the beauty of these villages.
All right, where do we go first to get our first glimpse of Cinque Terre?
How about Manarola? Often considered the most picturesque. Wander the streets, admire those colorful houses, enjoy a seafood lunch.
I can picture it now. All right, day 15, La Spezia and Manarola. I like it. What about day 16?
Okay, day 16, it's all about that Sentiero Azzurro, the trail that connects all 5 villages. We'll start in Monterosso al Mare and hike to Vernazza. Stop for photos, soak up those views, maybe even a swim.
I'm bringing my swimsuit. Okay, so hiking and swimming. Day 16 is going to be amazing. What about day 17?
On day 17, we'll continue our exploration, hiking from Vernazza to Cornelia, that village perched high on a cliff. Then we'll take a train to Rio Maggiore.
Okay, more hiking, breathtaking views, charming villages. Cinque Terre is definitely living up to the hype. Now, what about day 18?
Day 18, we experience Cinque Terre from a different perspective. We're taking a boat tour.
I love boat tours.
Imagine cruising along that coastline. Maybe even spot some dolphins.
Right, a boat tour is a must. What else?
On day 19, let's venture beyond the villages and visit Porto Venere.
Porto Venere. Okay, tell me more.
It's a charming town just outside Cinque Terre.
Yep.
It's got those colorful houses, the 12th century church, a great place to escape the crowds.
Okay, so exploring beyond Cinque Terre. I like that. And then it's time for the Amalfi Coast.
Day 20. What are we doing?
Day 20, we're arriving in Sorrento, a beautiful town overlooking the Bay of Naples.
Sorrento. Beautiful. Where should we head first?
Let's start with Positano, those pastel-colored houses cascading down the hillside.
Oh, Positano. So iconic. And what about lunch?
Let's find a restaurant overlooking that Mediterranean Sea. Fresh seafood, local wine, the perfect spot.
All right, day 20, Sorrento and Positano. I can't wait. Now, what about day 21?
Day 21, we're going to experience the Amalfi Coast from the water. We'll take a ferry from Sorrento to Amalfi and then hop on another boat to explore those coves and beaches. Swimming, sunbathing, soaking it all in.
Okay, a boat trip is a must on the Amalfi Coast. What are some of the places we'll be cruising past? You'll see Praiano, admire that Fiordo di Furore. Maybe even swim in the Grotta dello Smeraldo.
The Grotta dello Smeraldo. I've seen pictures. It looks magical. Okay, so day 21, a boat tour along the Amalfi Coast. I'm already dreaming of it. Now, what about day 22?
Day 22, we're going to Ravello, a hilltop town.
Okay.
We'll visit Villa Ruffalo and Villa Simbrone.
Those are those beautiful villas with the gardens,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Incredible views from those terraces.
Okay, Ravello it is. Relaxing, taking in those views. Sounds perfect. And what about our last full day on the Amalfi Coast?
Day 23, we're heading back to Sorrento to explore the town. Visit the Museo Correale di Terranova,
Okay.
then wander those streets, maybe some souvenir shopping, and enjoy a farewell dinner.
A farewell dinner. I love it. But wait, we still have day 24.
You're right. Our flight's not until the evening.
So what are we doing on our last day?
We're savoring those final moments in Italy. Maybe a leisurely breakfast, coffee at a local cafe, and then it's off to the airport.
What a perfect way to end our 3-week journey.
I think so too.
I'm already feeling nostalgic, and we haven't even left yet.
I know, but let's make this trip a reality.
Okay.
Are you ready to give our listeners some practical tips so they can start planning their adventure?
Let's do it. All right, so we've dreamt about the perfect itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get down to the logistics.
Okay.
How do we get around Italy?
Yeah.
We're talking about traveling from charming towns to bustling cities
Right.
to mountain peaks.
Exactly.
What's the best way to get around?
Well, good news. Italy has a fantastic transportation system.
Okay, good.
So for those longer trips between major cities like Rome, Florence, Milan,
Yeah.
high-speed trains are the way to go.
High-speed trains through Italy.
I know, it's an experience.
Yeah.
They're comfortable, they're efficient, and you get to see some beautiful countryside along the way.
I like it.
So that's a bonus.
But what about those smaller towns and villages?
Yeah.
Those hidden gems that are tucked away in the mountains or along the coast?
For that, buses are your best friend.
Buses.
Yeah, they're reliable,
All right.
affordable, and they'll take you to those places that trains often don't.
Okay, so we've got trains for the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Buses for those up-close and personal experiences.
Exactly.
What about renting a car?
Renting a car can be great if you want that freedom and flexibility
Okay.
of exploring at your own pace.
Yeah.
Imagine yourself cruising along those winding coastal roads, the wind in your hair.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
But however, driving in those major cities can be a little chaotic,
Okay.
and parking can be a challenge.
Yeah, I bet.
So consider your comfort level
Mhm.
with driving in Italy.
Yeah, good advice.
Right.
Okay, so we've got transportation sorted.
Mm-hmm.
What about accommodation?
Okay.
Where are we going to rest our heads after all that exploring?
Yeah, well, Italy offers a wide range of options,
Okay.
catering to every budget and travel style.
Okay.
So if you're traveling solo or maybe in a small group and you want to keep things affordable,
Yeah.
hostels are fantastic.
Hostels.
Yeah, they're fun, they're social, a great way to meet other travelers.
They can be.
Exactly.
A lot of fun.
They are.
But what if you're looking for something a little more private?
Yeah, maybe a little more comfort
Yeah.
than maybe a bed and breakfast.
Okay. But
Like
being
guest house.
Yeah.
They often have that cozy, personalized feel, and you get that local touch from the hosts who can offer those insider tips and recommendations.
Okay, so hostels for the social butterflies,
Mm-hmm.
B&Bs for those who want a more intimate experience. But
Exactly.
what about those special occasions?
Yeah.
You know, those once-in-a-lifetime trips.
Italy has some incredible hotels. If
Yeah.
you're celebrating a honeymoon,
Yeah.
a special anniversary,
Mhm.
maybe splurging on a 5-star hotel could be the perfect way to add some magic to your trip.
Yeah, like, what's that like?
Imagine waking up to those breathtaking views,
Yeah.
campered with impeccable service, indulging in world-class amenities.
Sounds pretty dreamy.
It is.
Okay, so we've got transportation, accommodation sorted.
Mm-hmm.
What about the practical stuff?
Yeah.
Money. What currency do they use in Italy?
Well, Italy uses the euro,
The euro, okay.
and it's always a good idea to have some cash on hand,
Right.
especially for smaller purchases
Right.
or when you're in more rural areas where those card machines might not be as common.
Okay, good advice.
Yeah, credit cards are widely accepted.
Yeah.
But, always good to have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm. What about tipping?
Tipping isn't as common in Italy as it is in some other countries.
Okay.
However, a small tip for your waiter or bartender is always appreciated
Okay.
for good service.
So a little something to show our gratitude.
Exactly, like a little grazie mille.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so transportation, accommodation, money matters.
Mm-hmm.
What about the language barrier?
Yeah.
Do we need to be, fluent in Italian?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
While it's always a good idea to learn a few basic phrases, you'll find that English is spoken pretty widely,
Okay.
especially in tourist areas.
Okay.
But don't be afraid to try out your Italian. Even a simple buongiorno or grazie goes a long way.
Yeah.
And locals will appreciate the effort.
Mm-hmm.
It might even lead to some fun interactions.
Yeah, it's all about embracing the culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Connecting with the people.
Now, before we wrap up this Italian adventure,
Mm-hmm.
is there any last-minute wisdom?
Yeah.
Any final tips or insights?
Okay, here's my parting advice.
Okay.
Remember that Italy is best experienced slowly.
Slow.
Don't feel pressured to cram everything in.
Great.
Just savor each moment.
Yeah.
Get lost in those charming streets. Strike up conversations with the locals.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy those long, leisurely meals.
Yeah.
And just let yourself be swept away by the magic of Italy.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
It's about embracing the journey, not just rushing from one site to the next.
Exactly.
Okay. Any other final thoughts?
Well, you've crafted this fantastic itinerary. Yeah.
But don't be afraid to deviate from it.
Okay.
If something sparks your interest,
Yeah.
follow your curiosity. Who knows what hidden gems you might discover?
I love that.
Yeah, that's the beauty of travel.
All right. And with that, it's time to say arrivederci to our Italian adventure.
Arrivederci.
We've journeyed from those truly houses of Puglia to the canals of Venice, the Dolomites, Cinque Terre, and the Amalfi Coast.
What a journey.
It's been incredible.
It is.
And hopefully it's inspired our listeners to turn this dream into a reality.
I hope so too.
And remember, this is just a starting point.
Right.
Let your curiosity be your guide.
Yeah.
Embrace the unexpected.
Mm.
Create your own Italian story.